On the aircraft carrier, a pilot picked up a football and set it on the launch catapult. The operator hit the switch. In seconds, the catapult accelerated to 340 kilometers per hour and hurled the football into the sky. Moments later, a fighter jet taxied into position. It locked onto the catapult, was shot off the deck, and headed toward the ceasefire zone on an aerial reconnaissance mission. At the time, the Bosnian War had just entered a ceasefire. The mission was simple: stick to the assigned route, take aerial photos, return to base. But shortly after takeoff, radar picked up something unusual inside the ceasefire zone. Under the agreement, the jet was not allowed to enter that area. The navigator warned the pilot. The pilot ignored him. He banked the aircraft and turned back to check it out. He switched on the digital camera and pushed the throttle into afterburner. The jet surged forward. Soon, they were flying over the ceasefire zone, and there it was, a group of armed personnel hiding in the forest with a large stockpile of heavy weapons. The low-altitude pass by the U.S. jet infuriated the fighters below. They immediately reported it to their commander. When the armed leader learned that NATO aircraft had violated the agreement, he gave the order, launch a SAM, bring it down. Inside the cockpit, the missile warning alarm screamed. The pilot immediately deployed flares, but the missile didn't take the bait. The jet began maneuvering hard, changing direction repeatedly, trying to shake the lock. Then another missile launched from below. Now 2 missiles were closing in from different angles. The fighter pulled into a steep 90-degree climb. Still no escape. The pilot made a split-second decision. He jettisoned the external fuel tank. The tank exploded mid-air. The blast wave detonated one of the incoming missiles, but there was no time to breathe. Another missile suddenly appeared head on. There was no room to dodge. It clipped the tail section, causing a short circuit in the tail control system. Moments later, a SAM struck the aircraft directly. The fighter broke apart in mid-air. The pilot immediately pulled the ejection handle. The booster rockets fired, blasting both crew members clear. The navigator landed safely. As soon as he hit the ground, he began searching for the pilot. But the pilot had already been captured. After a brief interrogation, the armed men executed him on the spot. From a nearby mountaintop, the navigator witnessed everything. He let out a scream. That scream gave away his position. Gunfire erupted toward him. He ran for his life. He didn't stop until he was beyond their effective range. He climbed to higher ground, pulled out his radio, and contacted the aircraft carrier Nimitz. After receiving the report, the captain immediately transmitted a set of coordinates. He ordered the navigator to move to the 3rd rendezvous point and wait for extraction. Meanwhile, the Navy SEALs began gearing up. They were preparing to enter the ceasefire zone for a rescue operation.